Hello everyone, welcome to this month's Gosho study. This month, we'll be studying the Gosho Persecution by Sword and Staff, written by Nichiren Daishonin on 20th day, 4th month, year 1279 to his young disciple, age 21, named Nanjo Tokimitsu. Now all in all, a total of 31 Goshos is addressed to Nanjo Tokimitsu, making him the disciple who received the most letters from the Daishonin. And this Gosho is special because it marks the transition point where thereafter the young Nanjo responded to the Daishonin's call to awaken to his mission as Bodhisattva of the earth, where he rises to play a key role in protecting other disciples as the Asuhara persecution unfolds. When Ikeda Sensei lecture on the Gosho is published in the December 12th issue of the Daibyaku Renge, he gave the following heading to represent the spirit that this Gosho represents. It reads, "Triumphing over adversity, the eternal honor of the shared struggle of mentor and disciple." As a person who reads Chinese, I'm more blown away by that same heading in Chinese that reads, 跨越风暴，师弟共战之荣耀，三世流芳. So how this Gosho relates to all of us is really this. It is about the oneness of mentor and disciple spirit. The spirit of courageously winning over our life's adversity, with the same indomitable spirit as displayed by the Daishonin and the three Soka Gakkai presidents, who overcame all adversities in the cause of propagating the law for the sake of humanity's happiness. This is how this Gosho can be applied to our life. Of the 31 Goshos addressed to Tokimitsu, this passage is one of the most studied. We have previously done so in 2007, 2014, and now 2021, a mystical 7-year interval coming to us in such difficult times due to COVID-19. Now this passage comes from the fourth and concluding passage of the Gosho. When Ikeda Sensei lectured on this section, he gave it the heading, "The Practice of Bodhisattvas of the Earth," and Sensei called out the section highlighted in red as the ultimate message contained in this letter. So I'd like to bring this conclusion to you first before we go any further. We are now in times when COVID-19 is again ravaging humanity on the global scale. Our globally connected island is also particularly being hit, forcing us to go back to phase 2 with a lot more restrictions. Now, if the situation is prolonged, more businesses may be forced to close down, and the simplest of our lifestyles may be permanently changed. It seems like most of us have sufficient reasons to despair, and choose to withdraw and focus all our energies only on matters directly related to ourselves due to the situation, cutting away time from Soka meetings, even when it's only online, or even stop reading the creative lives, seeing them as less important. However, by doing so, we may unwittingly work ourselves to a corner and unknowingly self-limit the full power of our Buddhist practice, no matter how valid our reasons are. To understand why, let's look at the 3 tenets of our practice that's embedded in the key Gosho passage that Ikeda Sensei pointed out. Now the passage reads, "Commit yourself to the Lotus Sutra and have faith in its teaching. You must not only believe in them yourself, but also encourage others to do the same." Here we see faith, study, practice for oneself, and very importantly, practicing for others. Now together they form the 3 tenets of our Buddhist practice, where missing any will severely diminish the power of the law and the power of Buddhahood for manifesting in our lives. Now theoretically, let us take a look at the top section of the 10 rules to help us understand why. Now we can see that the lasting ability to manifest the life force of Buddhahood through any adversities is built upon that of faith, study, practicing for oneself and others. Now without the element of practicing for others, or Bodhisattva practice, it affects all the other areas and correspondingly weakens our ability to tap into the full Buddha potential. After all, there's no such thing as a selfish Buddha, isn't it? Now looking at it essentially, I'm sure a lot of us, looking at our own experiences or the testimony of others, we often find a common theme. That is, it is often in a difficult time of crisis, such as a loved one being severely ill, or the family undergoing extreme financial difficulties, that, for the sake of them, we are able to call out our compassion to practice harder and study deeper, which then allows us to develop wisdom and the courage to take action to transform destiny by successfully tapping into the life force of Buddhahood. It is often this deep concern for others that allow us to eventually tap into this full Buddha potential that we seldom can when practicing for ourselves only. Now, as such, let us bear in mind that only by successfully rising to our mission as Bodhisattva of the earth and having the same indomitable spirit to overcome adversities as our mentor, will the three tenets of practice manifest its full effects to enable us to live a life of victories, free from any regrets. Now, with the key concepts delivered, let us quickly go to the background of the Gosho. Now, when Nichiren Daishonin dispatched Nikko Shonin on August 1275 to the Suruga province to guide Tokimitsu in matters of faith, now the two young men quickly developed a deep sense of comradeship and began to work swiftly together to spread the Daishonin's teaching. By December the next year, many of Tokimitsu's maternal and paternal relatives have been converted to the Daishonin's teaching. They started sending offerings to the Daishonin and wrote letters to directly learn from him. Now, continued efforts by the duo soon see farmers in the neighboring Asuhara area being converted, and also some priests from the local temples. However, the Fuji area was home to many fears belonging to members of the ruling Hojo clan, who is alarmed by the rapid spread of Nichiren Buddhism in the area. They increasingly grew hostile towards the new disciples, resulting in the start of the Asuhara persecution on February 1278. Now, sensing that there was a chance that his young disciple's life may be in danger, the Daishonin wrote to Tokimitsu to urge him to be prepared to overcome such obstacles in the same way that he has. Now, in the Gosho, the Daishonin discussed the two direct attempts that were made on his life. One was Tatsunokuchi persecution on September 12, 1271. The other was Komazubara persecution on November 11, 1264. Now, the earlier study segment should help us see that the Daishonin wanted to teach Tokimitsu the essence of faith, so that he will be able to overcome the inevitable great persecutions, fulfill his mission as a Bodhisattva of the earth, and follow the path of the shared struggle of mentor and disciple throughout the three existences. Now, how inspired and encouraged Tokimitsu must have felt on reading these words, filled with the invincible resolve and fighting spirit of one who has weathered and triumphed over repeated onslaughts for the sake of the correct teachings of Buddhism. Now, living to the trust that the Daishonin placed on him, Tokimitsu protected his fellow believers during the Asuhara persecution and upheld the banner of the correct teaching of Buddhism. Now, for these dedicated efforts, the Daishonin later praised this youthful disciple as Ueno the Worthy. Now, on this, Ikeda Sensei says, because the mentor triumphs with the courage of a lion king, the disciple stands up with lion-like courage. Because the mentor takes action with the vigor of a lion king, the disciple also acts with lion-like vigor. Because the mentor speaks out with a fearless lion's roar, the disciple also speaks out with a fearless lion's roar. When mentor and disciple are united in their commitment to Kosen Rufu, their lives brim with the life state of Buddhahood, of the Lion King. Ikeda Sensei continues, Nichiren Buddhism enables anyone to become a lion-hearted champion, which leads to the creation of a new wave of such champions around the world, dedicated to the realization of happiness and peace for oneself and others. It is a teaching that empowers each individual to become wise and strong, and to act as a protagonist in spreading the happiness to others, for helping each person become a Lion King. It is important that our faith in the Gohonzon and seeking spirit toward the mystic law are strong, unwavering, and sincere. Those who wish to transform their karma, who pray for the realization of Kosen Rufu, and who strive for that cause with ungrudging devotion, are guaranteed to achieve a life of happiness and victory. Those who sincerely persevere in their Buddhist practice will be victors. They will win out in the end. This is the ultimate purpose of faith in Nichiren Buddhism. Now, okay, thank you everyone for tuning in.